Welcome to the Bougie Black Brother Network. Good evening and welcome to Repo Rethink Politics, where we circle the news screen and noise all around the world and get diverse opinions with our two co-hosts. And let's start with E. What's going on up north there, E?
Yo, I'm feeling good right now. My Virginia Tech Hokies in the Sweet 16, so I just want to point that out. I'm saying that now, but then by the time this comes out, it probably...
Hey, it's you know what?
Get that ass washed.
It's still good because you got this far. How about that?
That's what I'm saying. It's history. We don't do this.
Yeah, you don't. If it's
Go ahead and introduce me so I can talk about my own.
Nah, give him a little more respect. And you know, in the basketball, is it really unique for that side? Nah, fuck that. And Chaz, what's up? CJ, what's going on?
What's up? So I want to talk about my alma mater, Georgia State, who took a 30-point loss in the first game. So you know what? Fuck Virginia, whatever.
Tech?
Yeah.
Fuck right.
Fuck the whole Virginia.
Damn. Hating ass bitch.
Damn.
Hey, if I run for president, I wouldn't win that state anyway.
Yeah.
So fuck them.
Yeah. That's what it is. Try to win Georgia, right? Yeah. So.
I think I can win Georgia.
Yeah, you probably
Maybe.
can. You better have Stacey Abrams as your damn running mate, you know? We'll get to that.
Stacey could have won Virginia.
Yeah. So anyway, we've been a couple of weeks down, and there's just so much shit just been going down. And I really wanted to, I grabbed a couple of topics that I know we wanted to touch. And the one that took a little longer in a couple of weeks while we were out was the Michael Cohen issue that came to Congress. So I wanted to touch base on both of you because I watched almost 80% of it. I didn't get the other 20% because I just had to do other shit. But the 80% and then everything else, and then I watched Saturday Night Live to see the rest.
To be honest, that I feel like in between that, there was some other shit going on. So the takeaway from Michael Cohen was, here's how the media framed it.
Mm-hmm.
Either Michael Cohen is telling the truth to self-preservation,
right?
And then on the other side, Trump was like, Michael Cohen's full of shit, and then the other side was like, okay, what happens now? So what does this testimony mean? Does it confirm what we already know? You know what I'm saying? Because the big thing was the Mueller thing. So I guess for me it was like, what's the significance and what happens? Because so far, dude has been Teflon.
Okay. So E, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, when he was what was it? Not the session or whatever that event was called, when he was at the hearing, he was just like, he was keeping it 100 like the whole way. Like they'd ask him a question and they said something like, so when you're working with a liar and a liar does this and that, and then Cohen was like, are you talking about me or the president? You know what I mean? Like he was just going back at all the Republicans. And I mean, I like the whole part of him just being honest, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, he is a liar, so it's almost like you can't really take sides. But I mean, honestly, it made Trump look bad, but it only made him look bad for like 1 week.
Yeah, because it's
it didn't
just
last
so
long.
much shit going on. So I'm going to give y'all two things that I took out of it. The one thing is he came with signed checks. You can't lie about that. You get that shit from the bank. He signed a check and said this was for the hoes. Here's my whole checks, and here's how it was signed. So that validated some things that people wasn't sure about. So he showed that. The second thing that most people got out of it, that we will see a little later on, was he was still talking to the Southern District of New York, and he couldn't say a lot of things because they were still investigating. Yeah. So what I got out of that, and even before we even get into the Mueller thing, the Southern District of New York is building a shitload of cases against all of them. They may not interact or do anything right away because they just building that. But there's people that's already just, I'm grabbing people. I'm going to take care of it. So the two things that I took out, I enjoyed the banter back and forth because he said, yeah, I'm going to be a liar, but I'm the liar that's going to say, look, if I'm a liar, he's a liar. So what are you going to believe? If we both liars, take him down just like you took me down.
Right.
Because we're both liars. But if not, fuck all y'all, and here's the evidence that I got. And I kind of like that because it just made it look like, okay, let's see how relevant your information is. Now, mind you, we won't know that until anything comes out. But it is what it is. So at the same time, right behind that was the Manafort. He got, and I needed your opinion on this one. He got, 3 years the first one and 4 years the second.
Yeah. And
he pleaded guilty in two separate, he was convicted on the first one, but he pleaded guilty on the second end. So what was your thoughts on the 7-year sentence? Now think about this now. The 7-year, which is a combined, when the prosecutors and the court was saying he should be getting between 15 and 20 years.
Bro should getting a lot more years.
Yeah, a shitload. And those were individual sentencing guidelines. So those were guidelines. But each one of them dropped it down to a 3 and a 4.
Mm-hmm. I mean, on one hand, you're glad somebody, getting some prison time. But, the disparity on, okay, if that wasn't you, if this was just like a normal guy who got a white collar crime and, got accused, charged or whatever the case, it's like, well, why wouldn't the judge give that person, more the full sentence of the law? So it points to, it kind of shines, the special treatment. But on the other hand, it's kind of like, it's a little bit of, and that's what you don't want. You don't want to turn into like mob justice, where you just want any motherfucker to get something. But again, to be honest, none of this is satisfying. None of it felt like, yeah. It was like he looks shiesty, he sounds shiesty,
and he is shiesty
on some shiesty shit.
Yeah. So, what about you, E? Did you see it the same way, or you got another take on it?
Yeah, no, I kind of saw it the same way. I'll be honest, I haven't really been catching up with the Manafort thing because it almost feels like he's getting off easy. I don't know. It just seems like it's like a what do you call it, white collar crime, and then it dies down in the media, and then all of a sudden he gets a light sentence. It's just
right.
I almost like, I mean, I don't want to sit here and say I don't care anymore, but it just seems like the story is almost going to turn out where he just goes to jail for a couple years, and you only have to do like 70% of his time if he does good. If he is a good standing or whatever it is, and he gets. Yeah. I don't. It didn't seem like he did all this shit all his life, adult life, and I don't know, man. It's just the justice system.
So it was to me, it was anticlimactic because you thought the climax at the end would have been, damn, now he got it. That motherfucker's in jail for 20 years and he deserved it. But to your point, these white collar crimes, these rich guy crimes only get the minimum. And then they go into these country club type jail systems that you can do that standing on your head. That's almost like I'm at house arrest. And any normal Joe would have been anywhere. And it would have been like ridiculous. So it was almost building up to the point of, if you do the crime and these criminal ass bitches, they're going to get like everybody else. But we see that's not the case. And it was disappointing. And I feel you, E. It was kind of like, who cares? Because either he was going to get off or he wasn't going to get much of a sentence either. So we just got one of the two, as opposed to true justice that the regular guy would get.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. That's the justice system.
Yep. And again, the administration is trying to redo the justice system because too many white people are going to jail for just the petty crimes. So if they redo that, then it'll be better for them. Even though anybody underneath will get a little hit or a little bump up, but mostly it's for the white folks who's like, look, these petty crimes, let's just throw these out and give them just probation and go from there. And to me, that was just the bullshit.
Right.
So, and those are the quick ones.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's the Manafort thing, man. It's just the Cohen thing heated up, because he's been talking a lot and you've been getting a lot of reaction, and it's like actually directed at the president. It's a little more direct with the actual issue, the real issue, which is, whether it's collusion, whether it's Russia, whether it's, finding ways to win the election. That was kind of what Cohen was all about. So that's why I think I was a little more interested in that, and that was really what how it all came about. But then the Manafort thing kind of became more about just Manafort's issues. It just became more of a character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just them going at his actions and what he did wrong. So after a while, it almost came like, all right, he don't have nothing to do with what I want is Trump out of office.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm gonna wait till we move on.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, not to jump the gun too much, but in between that and just it seems like low key, high key, Trump has some W's.
Yeah.
And Avenatti is a W for Trump. We're gonna wait to talk about it, but
no,
I mean, a lot of W's.
God.
I think that's a quick segue because I don't think you can linger too much on that because Trump said this guy's just a crook. He's a shyster, and y'all should never believe him. But everybody was on him. The women said he's handsome, so I'm going to follow him. I want to marry him. He's representing women, so I'm good with him. But it looks like Trump called his ass out, and he turned out being exactly what Trump was saying he was.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that was your boy. That was your boy too, Chad.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was.
Oh my God!
He always looked kind of shady though. I think he even mentioned that.
Motherfucker, it's you can't make this shit up.
No, you can't.
The Donald Trump fucked a porn star and did some illegal shit during the campaign. The porn star gets an attorney. The porn star you tripping, and then breaks up with that attorney.
And she gets sued. Attorney, she got sued too, right?
She the porn star gets sued by the president.
Yep.
And then the former attorney of the porn star gets arrested for allegedly extorting Nike. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And of course that's related to Trump still because Nike, Colin Kaepernick kneeling, the national anthem, and Trump still, being on that ass. So it's just like, and it's kind of like what E was saying earlier, like, oh man, I'm just like, you're just trying to focus on some shit. Like, okay, where do I need to pay attention, and what's the good news? So if you're a progressive, basically the good news at this point is, we got the House.
Yeah.
That's it. Trump is crazy. Trump has W's, but they're like, these are petty. These are score-settling victories. These aren't political victories as much as they are score-settling.
But those score-settling victories are big for him because he make those little things bigger than what they really are. And he keeps it out there to point the finger, even though it's petty. So he creates it more because every time a camera is there, a mic is in front of him, he's going to keep saying it, even if you're tired of it. And that's the bad thing about him being the president, because he can have the most pettiest shit and put it out there, like him criticizing a dead man. You got McCain.
John McCain, yeah. It's like,
dead.
First of all, why? Like, bro, that's...
He woke up and said, I don't like that motherfucker. So I'm going to tweet about it.
But every time he talks shit, I usually get reminded, like, wow, Hillary couldn't beat that, huh?
Yep. That guy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, that's just low, though, man. I mean, I feel like when I was watching, I heard people talking about it, but then I watched the video, and it's just like, bro, like he's dead. Like like what are you doing? Like he just straight up said, I don't even like that film. I never
It's
liked
not
him.
like
It's like
like when
what
it's
are you doing?
unprompted. It's unprompted. It's not like
And you're
you saying,
president.
yeah. Did someone discover? Oh, John McCain did some fucked up shit. No, it's just Tuesday.
No.
You know what? It's like, bro, he didn't.
You said it's Tuesday.
Yeah, it's like it's Tuesday. There's no new information about him. So I don't know.
But
It's goofy.
you know how it works. See, this is when the Republicans should be, I don't know, maybe doing something about it. All they're doing is they're just talking. It's just like, well, we don't agree with him, and we shouldn't talk about someone as classy as McCain or yada yada. All the stuff in the news. But it's like, come on, man, like do something. If he's gonna keep doing that, like I don't know, man. It's just it's the same motion. It's the same.
But yeah, and I think that's you just summarized it.
Mm-hmm.
So in between Michael Cohen, Flynn, the other dude, Papalopoulos.
Yep.
The other motherfucker, like
Flynn, they had to back him out because that judge was like, "Yo, I'm gonna fucking send you to jail today if y'all don't, back off." And he was like, "Okay, give us a couple more months." He said, "All right, because if you don't do better than what you came in here, you don't want me giving you a sentence today."
yeah, I'm gonna throw the book at your dumb ass.
Yeah, but try it.
It's just, but even then, Flynn is like if we're going after the mob, if the analogy is we're gonna go after the mob, we're getting foot soldiers. We're not getting Al Capone. We're not getting.
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying? So if I'm like a citizen worried about crime and shit, I'm reading the news like, Tommy Two Step, fucking, he went to jail. It's like, well, fuck Tommy Two Step. What about the boss? What? Yeah. How close are you to actually getting the head of the snake and dismantling the organization? So. And then, for that same analogy, if it is mob, you got people supporting the mob. Yeah. Like, bro, why are you supporting the mob?
Because the mob is taking care of what they want for the city. You know what I'm saying? So if the mob is like, I know I'm shooting people, I'm doing all of this, but guess what? I made sure we got new Costco's in the area. And they was like, damn, but the mob's got Costco's. Or but a lot of other people finance like, the bridges.
Nah, we already had Costco. We already got bridges.
Not in the areas that the Republicans want. You see what I'm saying? So the Republicans are being quiet because they're getting what they want. They're getting the conservative judges. They're putting stuff in everywhere they want. So if they speak out, he's not going to continue to support what they want.
We texted about this yesterday. And I think part of the frustration is, if you're a progressive, it's like, what media outlet can you go to,
right,
that really speaks, to like how you feel, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that, CNN is just split screen and blah blah blah. There's no hard hitting analysis. It's all bullshit. Mm-hmm. MSNBC. I know you like Rachel Maddow. Somebody likes her, but
I do.
It's just I don't know. I'm not.
She's too deep. I know what you're about to say. You think she'd be going to a tangent?
And fuck the tangents. I don't need the sky blue. You know what the sky is? It's a sky blue. Don't tell me. It is a hue of it. All that. Yeah, that. Yeah, like keep it. What's the information? So on that end, we talked about Bill Maher. We talked about him before, and I took a peek at a recent episode, and I was like, he started bringing up Michael Jackson, and for some reason that just was so uneasy for me because
you like Michael Jackson.
Say what?
Because you like Michael Jackson?
No, not even on that level. Like I do, but more so on the level of no, more on the level of. Well, what the fuck do you know about Mike? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's more so like.
I mean, he probably like Mike too.
Nah, I don't think he's qualified to talk about certain shit. And
so what makes him not qualified?
Well, here's what I'm saying. Part of the progressive experience is being like, I'm a black dude and I'm dealing with XYZ. I'm a single mother, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. Whereas the conservative side is, probably nuclear family, probably the suburbs, probably, these things. Whereas progressive, city living, electric car, blah, 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 all these other things. And I just feel like a lot of these outlets, their opinions are just based on your typical, yuppie Starbucks lifestyle where you just spout out bullshit. And it's like, bro, I don't,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? But that's just me.
Right.
What do y'all think?
Hey, Chaz, could you hold on a minute? Somebody's at the
Yo.
door, real quick. Let me let him in real quick. It's the devil's advocate. Okay, here he is. Here he is. He just came in. So what you're saying is what you
good one.
what you're saying is because he's not black, and black people have been covering for black people who's been pedophiles, rapists.
Let's be devil's advocate.
And
but you're
domestic violence, and we've been excusing that. No one else should be able to criticize them. That's what you're saying.
I see what you're saying. Bill Maher is just his opinions suck.
Okay,
is that fair?
No.
I mean, that's your opinion.
That's a good assessment of what you believe.
Yeah.
You got me?
So you tell me, in terms of, if you want like the liberal equivalent of Fox News, is the Young Turks the only place? Because I get the Bill Maher thing when I watch it, it doesn't really fulfill me on that level. Like, oh, okay, this is a shit. I like watching this. I like getting my information from here. I usually come back like, I don't know if I agree. Too many clap breaks. I really don't fuck with it like that. That's all I'm saying.
So I like it because I don't want to listen to somebody who's always has my opinion. I don't want to listen to someone who agrees with everything I believe in or really way extreme. Because on MSNBC lately, they've been defending what they were saying earlier. Stuff was saying, well, I think we jumped on this shit too quick with Trump, and Mueller just didn't give us what we wanted. So fuck it. What can I say? But on the other hand, I'm not going to apologize because the president hasn't been apologizing for the crazy shit he's been saying. So don't ask me for shit.
Yeah.
But they haven't said that.
Read 10 reasons to say fuck the president.
Fuck the president. So to your point, Fox go all in and don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But they have such a huge audience, they don't have to change. But if MSNBC, the CNNs, all these other people want to at least hold on to a little bit of the people, they're trying to balance that line. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead.
Yeah. Here's who I like Fareed Zakaria a lot.
Yeah,
that's a smart program. They don't yell at each other. They get academics. The Fareed Zakaria GPS is a dope show. Go ahead, E.
Who is that again?
Fareed Zakaria on CNN. He's like the Indian dude, I believe.
And he's good, though. He's good. He gets boring to me, though.
But I'm saying that's intellectual. Yeah. That's the.
And again, but that's tiring when the substance that he bring out is not relevant of trying to get at a motherfucker. You just
that's true.
Yeah, and that's boring to me. I want to hear some shit that's going to get at him.
What's the Fox News equivalent? So all I'm saying is the original point. Go ahead.
I mean, the Fox News equivalent is MSNBC.
but they're not. But it's not.
Wow.
Nah, they're not.
They go hard the other way. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like tissue. It doesn't feel G. It doesn't feel OG.
So
they
won't.
Know if you watching it enough. They go in.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to tell you because I watched in the middle. The one guy I like is Ari Melber because he's a lawyer. And he used to be the legal.
I like him.
That dude, and he always talk about rap shit too. So that's fucking funny as hell.
Yeah, that's when he sold me. I was like, okay.
Yesterday, Trump's lawyer was on, and the lawyer was trying to overtalk him. He was like, "Hold on.
Yeah.
This is a question and answer show. So I ask the questions, and then you answer. You don't continue to answer when I didn't finish my question. Can we do that? Can we do that?" And the guy was like, "Okay." And he was like, "Thank you. Now let me finish my question." And he goes in on a motherfucker, and I'm like, God damn.
Yep.
But
he's
one of the guys that I really like. Now, back to your point with Rachel. Rachel is so intellectual. She gives you historic data. She reads out the court documents and everything of what happened, so you can make your own assessment of what you're reading and know what is the relevance of what's going on today. Does it mean much? Maybe not, but it gives you an idea on sometimes the way the direction goes. She's not going to go hard. She's going to give you hard data.
Evidence
And data. So that's why I like her. I don't get her to say, man, she really get in on that motherfucker. You're not going to get that. So to your point, there's not an equivalent Fox. Because Fox was like, yeah, that's these people, we should roll them out and slice snake throats.
Bruh, Fox at the border, we're being invaded. Protect your children. Buy a gun. Dun, dun, dun. Like, oh, shit.
Buy a gun.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? This would be like, I don't. So the original point was, like, why do we? I guess what I'm trying to figure out is why do these things, you know, the Mueller, Cohen, why haven't they felt that much? And you know, it's just as I get my news and get information, it's just, you know, in between everything for me feeling anticlimactic,
right,
and just not having like that narrative on the other side, there just hasn't been that, you know what I'm saying? That fire hasn't been fed. Like, you know, there's no rile up person. There's no Flavor Flav. There's no hype man.
There's no
liberal hype man.
Nope. So there is.
Who?
And here's where the problem is.
You
got the Talib, Representative Talib, and you got AOC, that the regular liberal Congress are trying to get them to say, look, calm down. We don't want to do it that way.
Yeah, she's on Twitter every day. So I follow her. I like her.
No, all of them. And what's the other Muslim Somalian girl who brought up
I forget the name.
This anti-Semitic thing? And she was like, wait a minute. What about the anti-Muslim that's been going on for years? So now you're going to make something just for the Jews? This is exactly what I'm talking about. And then they was kind of like, oh, shit. But that's where it's coming from. It's not coming from the media. It's coming from these new Congress people who saying, I'm tired of hearing y'all just cowering down to these goddamn Republicans and Fox who's lying all the time. I'm going to throw shit out there and y'all going to have to deal with it. And guess what?
Here's the question.
Go ahead.
Here's the question. In light of everything that's happened, tell me why Mitch McConnell won't get reelected.
Why he won't?
Well, why wouldn't Mitch McConnell get reelected?
Oh, I think he will.
So that's my point. It's kind of like at the end of the day, the establishment, a lot of the establishment is relatively safe.
So I'll give you an example. So my wife asked me the other day, she was like, I don't want to see this shit. She was talking about MSNBC. She said, why do they keep going to the Trump areas? Because they're saying, well, I believe in him. And I told her, I said, the reason why they do is they got to let you know, you keep fighting to turn these people, they're not going to fucking turn. Here's the places you won't go. Yeah. Here's the places you don't go to. These motherfuckers are not going to change. I said, if you don't know who they are, baby, that's the problem. That's what they showing. And if they smart, subliminally, they telling these who's ever running, you're not changing this portion. You need to go to the city next to their ass, not that city, because you're wasting your time. Or if not, they're going to lie to you, and that's the way it's going to be. That's what got me. And Mitch McConnell, if he's that sector who believes in Trump, yeah, he's going to get reelected. Who's going to change their mind if that's all they believe in? So we're going to get some wins, but we're not going to get them all. We're not going to just wipe this whole Senate and out. But we're going to get a lot more than we used to. Because did y'all see that the farmers are now begging because not only are the terrorists killing them, but the weather is killing them now.
Yeah.
So climate, ain't that a bitch?
Yep.
Yeah.
So what's your thought, E? I mean, if you looking at this whole scenario and where we stand, and you know there's a sector of this society that sees things the way they want to see them, Do you see an effort to say, if we keep at it, people will change? Hold your thoughts on that. And when we get back, I want to get into that because I want to talk about a lot of the flyover states and how we're not, as Democrats or liberals, of how we're ignoring this segment of the population that the Republicans, or I really should say Trump, tapped into. So stay tuned.